Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome you back. And what I want to show you today is how you can take 10 minutes, a screwdriver, a piece of sandpaper, and turn two very good casting reels into reels that not only cast better than they did when they were new, but they cast more consistently, quietly, and more smoothly. So that's all it takes, 10 minutes, a screwdriver, and a piece of sandpaper. Now to start off, when I say sandpaper, this is what I use. This is a 3M product. It's called Trizact. It's an automotive abrasive. It's designed for working around clear coats or plastics. And what I find it works beautifully with are metals. So this is the finished product. Yep. This is what we're aiming for. That is a full mirror polish. Let's see if I can get the reflection in here. See Abu Garcia. This is about 10 inches away now. So you can see it's a true mirror polish on it. So that's our goal. And it really only takes 10 minutes. I'll show you how to do it. It is actually a upgrade that I recommend anybody who owns this type of reel, or a reel that has this type of break. I recommend that you do it. And if you look here, this is how it comes out of the box. And again, that was MGX Extreme. That is a 2016-2017 reel, so it's current. This is the previous Abu Garcia Revo MGX, and again, it's the same type of brake. It just comes apart a little differently. I'll show you how to do both in this video. And as always, guys, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to type them down below. I'm always reading them. I try my best to respond to all the questions. And if you want to support my channel directly, there are multiple ways you can do that. You can look in the description below and you'll see Amazon or eBay affiliate links. Any purchases made through that directly support my channel. I also have a Patreon channel. I'll leave the link in the description and I'll also leave the link in the comment section, and you'll see a little red P at the end of the video if you want to make a direct financial contribution with the potential of winning some really sick stuff. Go ahead and check out my Patreon back channel page as well. It's patreon.com for Tackle Advisors. You'll see the link at the end of the video or in the description below. And again, thanks. I hope you enjoy this. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the side plate. Simple 3-screw removal. Now what I want you to do when you remove the side plate on the original is make sure that the brake setting dial is set dead middle, just like so. That makes it easier when you go to line it up in the end. And if this centerpiece pops out, it's not a big deal. But when you're reinstalling it, see this little arm right here, this little leg that comes off that little center post, it's got to line up in that groove. So if you have it set to minimum, it's going to be tricky. So it's always best to have it set dead center in the middle. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to turn this until it wants to come out all the way. And then once that's out, just pop that out. Be careful of the springs that are on these two legs here. We're going to separate them. Now we're getting ready to pop out the brake ring. Be very careful because you don't want to bend it. On the new one, it's actually easier. The older ones, that is a little tricky. You can see there's little areas where it's kind of open. So, and we don't want to bend anything. Sometimes it's just easier to kind of grab these and bend the whole piece of plastic. But whatever you do understand you don't want to snap anything. Alright, so pop that. That's kind of up already. We're just going to work our way around. And we're going to get this side to pop. Alright, so once you pop it open, you're left with this, completely separate. Alright, so once you separate the actual brake plate from its retaining cage, this is what you have. And you can see where the actual brake weights have kind of polished that a little bit. There's some scratches, some blemishes on it. This is the unused side, to give you an idea. And when it comes to polishing this is the beauty of the Trizact pad. You know, first we're going to wipe it off, make sure there's no oils on it. Clear this all aside. And then just gentle I'm just using just 3 fingers, and it just glides across the Trizact pad. No real pressure that I'm putting on it. And I'm going to rotate the actual brake ring every couple swirls, every couple circles, so that way I'm kind of putting pressure in different areas of the disc just to make sure it's kind of even. And you can see that's what we're left with. Now that scratch is still there, barely. You see it right up top here? So we're going to keep on going a little bit. We may not get it all out. We're going to go a little bit more pressure. Keep in mind this is a foam pad. If you apply too much pressure, you can fold it or bend it. So now I'm just going with 2 fingers, a little bit more pressure. And I'll just wipe off any dust or anything that's on there. And you can see that's a mirror polish now. Pretty simple, huh? Now, when you're reinstalling it, you have the 2 little ears. They go, I believe, right there. And then we're gently going to snap it in place. Going to apply the springs again. I think the springs go on the 2 legs that are the narrowest. And now we have to put the dial in, and you'll see that there's a little black post right where my finger is. You just gotta make sure it's pressed up enough to get underneath the dial, like so. And where is the side plate? I'll grab the side plate real quick. Alright, and when reinstalling the brake plate, you'll see this post here, right there. Keep in mind, it's right around 50% as far as the Minimax is concerned. You have the post right there. That has to line up with that right there. That you have a single, and kind of a slotted section. That has to line up. So you can kind of put it on there and then turn it as needed, but it's pretty easy. I'm going to go ahead and carefully screw these back in. Alrighty, I'm just going to give it a quick wipe down again. Get any oils out. And those of you that own this reel know that the oils from your hands will cause issues with the braking. And if you're wondering why this is a weird looking spool, this is a spool for Avail, or from Avail. You can see it's kind of a fully drilled honeycomb spool. There we go. Better than new. Now I'll do it on the other one. I'll just show you how to on the current MGX reels. Same 3 screws. 1, 2, and 3. Be careful with that third one because there's a little bit of spring load on it. Then we're going to remove these 3 screws here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So we have 3 screws, and watch those 3 springs. Nothing really to be afraid of. There are springs though. So as you saw, the 3 springs went right there. And that comes out the other side now. And we're just going to be careful, but this comes out a little bit easier than the other one. So we got the 2 sides up, and once the 2 are up, usually it comes right off. See? Hopefully that was on camera. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a final polish. So now we went from a finish like that to that. And we'll keep on going a little bit more. And if anybody wants to polish internals of their reels, this Trizac stuff is the stuff to use. It's spectacular. If you have scratches on your aluminum reels, you can kind of buff them out. If you have scratches or surface scratches on your reels, you can use this to kind of buff them out. If you have epoxy coated lures that have kind of oxidized and hazed, you can buff out the surface finish on some of your lures if you want to, if you're into that sort of thing. Great stuff. Okay, so you can see it is a mirror polish. You can see my fingernail right there. And just to give you an idea, see if you can make out the texturing on the handle. So it's a pretty good mirror polish on it. And that's a 5,000 grit, so I don't see the need to go any higher than that. And again, we're going to go ahead and pop this back into place. Again, be careful not to warp it or bend it. I don't think there's any specific... Alright, now with the brake disc back in place, we're just going to line up the 3 posts with the 3 holes in the brake housing. Push that down in. Make sure you have a grip on it like so. That way you can keep these posts sticking through far enough, because it makes it easier to put the springs on. And also makes it easier when you're aligning this. Now you see the one leg that pops out right there? Looking right here. That's going to line up on the hole like so. Oop. So again, I'm making sure I'm pushing it with my 2 fingers, that brake ring. And now I'm going to take the smaller of the 3 screws. You have 2 sets of 3, larger and smaller. You're just going to do 2 or 3 turns just to get it going. I just rotated it while keeping pressure. And the last one, we'll see if I can get up a little closer. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, now I'm going to tighten it up gradually. You can see how the springs are springing. So this back plate can compress. And it's about snug. And I'm pushing the plate down again. I'm compressing it. It's about snug. Compressing it yet again. And it's about snug. Looks good to me. Now we're going to go ahead and pop this back in. And you can see it has that same post on it, right? If you're going to focus for me, it has its same post, but also there's little ridges. Hopefully that shows up there and there. You can see on the ring here, that top ridge above my finger, above my thumb, and down there. I just want to have it lined up. Boom. Don't snug it up super tight. Again, not super tight yet. So you have max, and min. And real quick, before we put the side plate back on, the way this works best, see this here? If you tighten these screws and get them down too tight, this gets a little tighter, and it sometimes won't play nicely with locking the side plate in place. So what I usually like to do is snug down the screws just so that they're snug. You know, just fingertip pressure to snug, and then just unsnug them. That's all. It ain't going anywhere. Those screws are embedded in plastic, which is basically a natural way of Loctiting. And pop it back on and lock it back on. Done. Oh, what do we do? Oh, we got the line stuck on the side. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you take 10 minutes and turn it into better casting performance on any Abu Garcia with the IV CB4 brake. Hope you guys enjoy this. Thanks a lot.